Hi everyone, welcome to Toxiscandia, Stories of a Toxicologist living in Scandinavia. My name is Sveta and I live in Norway. Before that, I lived in Finland for 9 years, then in Sweden for a year and a half. Now I have been living in Norway for almost 3 years. So I am an immigrant and I know a lot about immigration and everything that is happening when you are an immigrant. And today we are going to discuss psychological difficulties that all immigrants are usually facing. Of course, it's very individual and some people don't face any of those difficulties and some people are practically destroyed by all of them. As for me, I have experienced most of these issues that I will talk about today. So if you are interested in my own experience and my own tips how to overcome these difficulties, and if you are looking for support, if you're in the same situation, please continue watching this video. There are a lot of people immigrating these days. Some people go just for a limited amount of time, go to live to another country. Some people are moving forever. Many people are moving from country to country. So it is quite a common style of living nowadays, regardless of if it's intentional, people just love moving around, or it is because of some serious reasons and maybe you don't even want to do that, but you still have to. My first big migration was when I moved from Russia, where I was born and raised. I was 21 and I moved to Finland. So it was quite a big step. A lot of issues were there, also psychological ones. Then when I moved to Sweden and Norway, it was a bit easier, but still some of these problems, some of these things rise again. So I would like to talk about these issues today. It will be top 5 issues that I have discovered for myself, but maybe there is more. So please, if you have something to add to this, just comment under this video. It maybe will bring extra support for those who are struggling with the same issues as you are. So first of all, when you move to another country, sometimes it feels like moving to another planet, to be honest. The first issue that arises is, of course, anxiety that is related to all the uncertainty that you are facing. So when you are moving to a different country, you often have to start from the scratch, and there are often very serious problems such as financial difficulties, and you have to struggle to live your normal life. Although in your home country you might have had everything automatically, like after being born, all the stability and all the things that usually locals get and immigrants do not have. When you are new in the country, when you are struggling to find a job, to find a place to live, to find a place to be yourself, it is of course a lot of uncertainty about the future. How are you going to cope further? And it can also bring some kind of identity crisis, especially if you have been someone in your home country and then you have to come and start over from the very bottom. And then it can be very hard for your self-esteem. And of course, another thing is that we have a massive amount of problems when we are immigrants, especially when we first come to the country, and we have to solve these issues immediately, simultaneously, all of them. It may be even small things, just to apply to this document, apply to that permit, and then you just have to do it simultaneously, everything at the same time. It is extremely overwhelming when all your time is spent on these issues and you don't have time for yourself. You also are facing a lot of difficulties, uncertainties. You don't know if you have done it right or wrong, and you don't know where to seek for help. So this can come as an avalanche coming at your head. So then you're maybe completely lost. And anxiety disorders are not uncommon in this case. A lot of people start struggling with anxiety disorders and panic attacks when they are fresh immigrants. Uncertainty is usually badly tolerated by humans in general, even if you are not an immigrant at all. And there are, of course, also expectations of other people. So if you are starting from the scratch, you have a lot of uncertainty and anxiety about that. And it is also added by all the comments that you get from people you know, that, oh, you know, by your age you should have had a career already. You shouldn't go to school again if you are 35 or 40. So these comments can be very, very exhausting to hear and very discouraging. And this is something that adds to your anxiety and adds to this uncomfortable feeling that you have about yourself and about your life. And my tips would be just to give yourself some time and to have some time frame to reference to. I would say that 2 years it is the adaptation time, and you should also start counting these 2 years when your life becomes more or less stable, when you don't have to struggle every day, when you know what you're gonna eat in a month and where you're gonna live in a month. Then you can say that, okay, my life is more or less stable, and now I can start adapting to this country. I can start this clock, this 2-year period, you know. And otherwise it's just survival, it's not adaptation, of course. So you shouldn't be too tough on yourself, and give you some time first to reach this level of stability where you can finally start adapting to the country, and then add 2 more years to that, and only after that you can look at the result and see if you are adapting well or not. Another thing you should do, especially if you have a clinical case of anxiety, if it's something that really disturbs your life, it makes your life impossible to live in a normal pace as you are used to. If you have real difficulties to go through the day, then you should of course seek help of a specialist. It can be someone who is free. There are a lot of services that are available for free. Maybe it wouldn't be like long psychotherapy sessions, but it can be just one consult, which can be really helpful in this situation. There are a lot of crisis centers that you can go to if you are feeling really desperate. Or it can be specialists from your home country. There are a lot of services online, so you can just go and talk to someone there. And at least for this period, you should get as much support as you need, especially if your anxiety is manifesting in a clinical way. Then you should be really concerned about that and do something about it. Anxiety may even remain in some cases later after you have adapted and everything is fine, but still it started with the immigration and then it remains with you. And in this case, I think fact of immigration, first months or years, can be seen as a traumatic event, and then it can be seen as PTSD from this event, actually. Of course, it's not comparable to like really catastrophic events that people go through and then have like this classic PTSD syndrome, but it can be approached in the similar way when you are working with a psychiatrist or a psychotherapist. It is no shame to go and ask for help if you still have this anxiety, because normally it should pass after you get on a stable ground, but for some people it doesn't happen, unfortunately. And in any case, please know that it is very common to have anxiety disorder or some degree of anxiety in your situation. You are not alone. I have experienced it myself quite strongly, and I had to take a medication for my anxiety attacks. So it is something that is common for all the immigrants, I should say. Only if you have very strong nervous system, very strong mind, then okay, maybe you can avoid that, but mainly it happens to everyone. Number 2 is focusing on the past and not on the future. It is not very related to the anxiety. I think it's mostly incline towards apathy or depression in this case, when you are looking in the past and see all the things that you used to have, and now you don't have anything, you have to start from the beginning. And this is especially hard on those who left their country when they already had something there. Maybe they had a good university degree, or they had a career, or they had a magnificent house with a backyard, or anything that you consider precious for you, and you had to leave that and start from the beginning on the new place. And of course you would be very prone to look back to the past and maybe be nostalgic. Nostalgia is absolutely fine, but if you are stuck in this past, if you are thinking about this all the time, and this prevents you from thinking about the future, then it becomes the problem. And I didn't really go through that myself, because I immigrated first when I was 21, and I only had one university degree from Russia. That didn't help me much. I had to get another degree in Finland and start over. So maybe a little bit I had left my prospects with my first degree in Russia, but I am glad that I had an opportunity to get another degree, so I didn't really look back much. So maybe I remember that getting my degree and that profession that I had first as something that gives me some nostalgia, but I was not stuck in there in any way. But for many people, unfortunately, especially if you are older, this immigration situation may be a downshifting. So you have to go and start over. You have to start from the bottom, from the very basic jobs. And if you used to have a really good job, it may be difficult for your self-esteem, for your identity, and it can also be a struggle financially. So this adds to the problem. And another thing that adds to that is that some people are really counting on going back. If you are a refugee, for example, if you are just moving out of the country to wait out that all the disasters pass and I come back, it can put hope in you, which probably is okay to have, that okay, one day I will go back. I don't have to really build my life here, and I can just go to what I used to have there in my home country. This might be true for some people, but I don't think it's a constructive strategy for anyone actually who is immigrating, because in any case you have to spend some years, some months, years, or decades even in another country, and this is your life. You are living these years and they are passing, so you should be focused on these years and not on what will happen after. So in this case, this looking to the past, looking to your home country can be destructive actually. So you should still be focused at least in the present or maybe in the future, but not look to the past all the time and not be stuck there. And if you cannot leave these thoughts, if they are coming over and over about the past, about things that you have lost, this is a good reason to talk to someone, to a specialist, to go to psychotherapy, to do psychological consulting, anything that would help you, even to talk to your loved ones, or maybe to people that are in a common situation, in the same situation as you. So this could all help a lot, and you should be determined to shift your focus from past to future for this in order to work. And there are, of course, different instruments that could help you to do that. Number 3 of psychological issues is a fear of leaving your comfort zone or fear of anything new. This is something that happens also to anyone, I think, who comes to a new country, because everything is new and everything is outside of your comfort zone, and you are pretty overwhelmed by this from the beginning. There are also a lot of issues and problems you have to solve. Almost each of them requires you going out of your comfort zone. So meeting with potential employers, job interviews, searching for an apartment, social life, anything requires effort from you, and this can be a lot of effort, especially if you are an introverted person, and this can become really hard for you to motivate yourself every day to go out there and do what you have to do. And here I think it is important to keep balance and not to require too much from yourself, and not to turn your little leaving your comfort zone into going into complete distress, because it's very different. It's like going to the gym when you haven't been there for ages, and then starting a workout that is very heavy and lasts for 5 hours, then you will be just destroyed after that. And it's opposed to starting from short, easy workouts and building up on that. So the same you should do with your life in immigration, in a new country. So you should start with small steps. Of course, there are things that need to be done right now. You should go through them, but everything else, it can be divided to the small steps that can be taken every day. Even if you are very exhausted, if you don't want to do anything, you still can take this little small step. It is possible even for a person with lack of energy, and you don't have to do everything at once. You don't have to do everything in one day. This is not required if things are not really urgent or not really have to be solved in this moment. And you should feel uncomfort. Yeah, this is a natural part of life in general, but in a new country it's like supernatural. You should feel uncomfort, but you must not feel distress when you do that. You must not be destroyed after your day of going out of your comfort zone. So it should be like a workout, very gradual, and you should motivate yourself to do small steps. It's much easier than to motivate yourself to solve everything in one sitting. And of course, prioritizing, keeping your priorities in your head or maybe on the paper, it helps a lot. So you can list all the urgent and important things and start with them, and then go to less important things based on your values, based on your needs, and etc. And you should also be very tolerant to feeling embarrassed. I know it's very difficult for some people, because when you are doing something wrong, other people can look at you that maybe you are not smart enough, or you are not intelligent enough. And if you are an intelligent person, this can be a part of your identity. Of course, it will harm you in a psychological way. But in a new country, you will get to these situations when you will be embarrassed, you feel embarrassed, you will act in an embarrassing way, and you should build tolerance inside you towards that. So it should be okay for you. You should deal with that. You should give yourself space to be silly, to do things wrong, and just have a positive attitude and go forward. Regardless of what happened in the past. I'm pretty sure that people are able to understand that you are new in the country and you maybe don't know some things, and it's completely normal to do things maybe not from the first try. So just please be kind to yourself in this case. Number 4 is too high expectations and disappointment that comes from that. And it, of course, depends on the person. Some people have really high expectations and some don't have any expectations at all. But usually we have to base our expectations on something, and most of the people more or less base them on what they used to have in their home country. So if they don't get enough in a new country, or they get significantly less, then these expectations can be destroyed dramatically and they get very disappointed. So this should be avoided, but of course we are not ideal people, and for me it was also an issue when I couldn't find a job for my first year in Finland. I talked about that a lot in a video how I moved from Russia to Finland. And these realistic expectations, they sometimes need some time to be built inside yourself. They come with some time. When you get to know the country, you get to know how things work. So just give yourself some time to build this realistic picture of life, and then maybe adapt your own expectations to this picture, and you will get disappointed at some point by something, and it is normal. You should know that everyone does that, even people that are not immigrating, and you should just not get stuck in this disappointment. This just should be something that you experience. Give it some time for you to go through it, and then go ahead. Living your comfort zone implies quite a lot of disappointment constantly from day to day, and many people are disappointed by how foreigners are met by the local people, and it is quite natural that foreigners and locals have very different backgrounds, and maybe people are skeptical about your background as a foreigner. Maybe you would not fit to this job, to this social circle. So this is a natural thing, I should say, although it may turn into xenophobia, and this is something that is out there. Fear of new and fear of foreigner bringing some disturbance. You know, if the small local company hires a foreigner and they don't speak local language very well, they bring some new perspectives, and not everyone will be ready for that, and for them it will be leaving the comfort zone, and not everyone would go through that. So you should count for that, and xenophobia is unfortunately out there, but all we can do is try to accept this reality, and try to find good people. There are good people out there. There are non-xenophobic people that are open to new things, that are open-minded, and you should find them, you should appreciate them, you should be in this circle of this nice people, and also another thing is not to contribute to xenophobia yourself. Please remember this experience that you go through, and try not to be xenophobic yourself in the future when you are more as a local, and foreigners are coming from outside. Just try to be patient, try to be compassionate in this case. I think it's your example, you know, our own example, that may teach other people to be more open-minded. And number 5, the last one, is feeling of non-belonging, and this can happen first when you come to a new country. Of course, you don't feel that you belong there, but after some years you can also start feeling that you don't belong to your home country, because everything has changed so much after you have left, and you don't feel a connection anymore, so you don't belong anywhere basically. And this is also very different from person to person. It depends on your values, on your attitudes, and for some people it's not important at all. For me it's not super important, but maybe a little bit. But just for some people, like belonging to the country, to the land, to the people, it's to the society, it's like the main value of their lives. So it can even lead to some identity crisis. And in this case it's important to talk to someone, maybe to someone who has gone through this, to specialists, and you can also try looking at the situation in a broader way, like try to open your mind. Is it really something that is valuable for me? Is it really that important for me? Or is it something that I learned from others and just absorbed without thinking? Maybe it's not really that important to belong to some country or land. Maybe I should first belong to myself and to my loved ones, and then maybe incorporate this into broader sides of my life. So you should just do some reflection about that and find out if it's a really valuable thing for you, or is it just something that you have learned without any reflection. And another tip would be to focus on something that is universal for everyone. There are things that make us human. We are all human race, and there are universal things that are important for all of us, such as social life in different degree, of course, for different people, family, relatives, maybe interests, hobbies. This can be pretty universal. If you are working somewhere, your professional goals, they do not depend on where are you from. So you should focus on these things that make you similar to others. So then maybe you should start feeling that you belong to this group of people. It may not be on national, ground or ethnical ground, but on some other ground, and it may still be enough. I hope this video helps you to navigate in this difficult months or years, first months or years of immigration. Maybe you are just preparing yourself for that. It's very good to know what you're going to be facing, most probably, and it's very smart to do that. And I think you are doing a good job if you are preparing yourself also in psychological way. And just remember that you are not alone. There are other people elsewhere around you maybe that are experiencing exactly the same things, and they are very natural in your situation, and you have all the capability to go through them, because all kinds of people go through immigration issues, through moving to another country. You don't have to be a Nobel Prize winner, you don't have to be a superhuman to do that. It's normal to not do it ideally, but in the end, everyone who really tried, will get a result. You shouldn't give up, you should go forward, and you should be kind to yourself and to others. I hope this video was informative for you. If it's so, please hit the like button, also subscribe to my channel if you want, and hit the notification button. And I wish you all good luck. Stay healthy, stay happy, and I hope to see you next time. Bye bye.